Wake up, kids. It's time for reality. Welcome to the Lost Begotten channel. I have not had enough sleep. I spent the night writing another new business plan. Because I seem to have investors lining up for this particular enterprise, but I'm not going to go into it. Anyways, oh, I'm going to drink a little coffee and light a cigarette so I can remember what the hell I wanted to talk about. But good morning, and thanks for joining me. I got a couple of interesting things I found out. You saw the little dark thing, right? It's light itself bending. Just saying. As opposed to, the atmosphere causing the appearance of light to bend. There's a difference between something bending and something taking a bent path. Like a car. You can cause a car to bend. Okay, but a truck, like a train truck. Yeah. Barrels of wine. Something with no steering, the tracks must bend for it to bend. Savvy? But, I saw the camera distort just a little bit, just like it did just then. My left hand is just kind of gently rested in an L shape right now. I'm not doing anything that would cause a light shift on the camera. What's happening is I'm actually emitting it. That causes the camera to go dark to compensate. But anyway, I wouldn't know that to tell you if it wasn't for what has obviously happened in person. I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm not gonna go out of my way to prove shit to people. Just this is what the people who know me in my real life observe. I have tried to call it quits on the whole, being the anti-Voldemort thing. I wanted to say you know who, but it makes you sound like Voldemort. I can't say that. That's hilarious. Anyway. So, a thing that I want people to realize about me is that how do I put this just as plainly as possible? I have faith. Okay? I have no urge to be overly self-conscious on this channel. I have no urge to smear or make clip shows or spend any time calling out people. If I have something to say, I say it, and you fucking hear about it. And let's just say I consider it a matter of principle that any good Christian should act as such. They should have faith and not pretense. They should have je ne sais quoi. How do you say? They should have a lack of vindictiveness, a lack of petty human seeming qualities, a lack of any need to say get fake views and market and troll other people's shit with fake screen names. Just saying. Any good Christian, let alone someone who wants you to bow down and worship him. Which, as anyone who's watched this channel knows, I do not. That's fucking creepy. Okay. Anyway. It reminds me of my ex-wife and my stepson from many thousands of years ago. Okay, and if you don't know that story, I'm not telling it right now, but I've told it. You know, Moltz, meaning of life type stuff, and Sitka stuff you don't know about, shit you don't know about. So I have actual notes for this video. Look at all that. Look at that scripted video I'm doing here. Is that fucking Chinese? No, that's mescaline? No. That's probably. No. Never had the opportunity actually. That is the ancient language of the Mexican Eskimo. No, see, I had a joke, but it didn't even come out of my face squirter. Is that what these are called? Hey, look, I'm a cuttlefish. Yeah. That was fascinating, Sean. Isn't that special? Oh, speaking of special. Yeah, I'm having a special moment, obviously. Like I said, I have faith. Therefore, there's a certain amount of je ne give a fuck. Okay. So remember the whole once upon a time thing, etc. All right, I do this quite often, and I don't mention it, but 1,000th of what happens, okay, on this channel. Understand? Did you see the little thing? Okay. Now, I was sitting here 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. I want to say 2 weeks ago. And I was doing a church lady impression talking about Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. And I looked at my wife and I said, hey, wait a minute. What am I wasting my time doing this for? And I snapped my fingers. Sure enough, a week later, Dana Carvey's back on SNL as the church lady. Oh, and they ripped them cats up. Well, a wide open stinker. Yeah. I'll just edit that out later, right? Okay. Clearly, I can't hold the phone and drink coffee. It's a like delirium setting back in. I'm gonna wind up like taking a nap and forgetting to press stop. But later, I'll do that later. Maybe. Oh yeah, there was like a thing with some notes, something about Mexican Eskimos on mescaline. I have clownfish. Clownfish here, clownfish there, clownfish everywhere. Yeah, Jafar, he's our man. If he can't do it, clownfish. Yeah, so Chinese Mexican Eskimo notes. And what I have written here is 3 things. And if anybody knows before I explain, please brag about yourself in the comments. Because I want to know if anybody, watches this who has previously, I don't know, demonstrated the ability to think independently. Maybe remembers what you learned in school and college and shit. Fuck, it's been 15 years, but was everybody just that lazy about their studies? Oh, do not point the finger. Okay, I'm not going to rip off a Titus joke of 3 fingers. When you point the fingers, there are 3 pointing back at you. Okay. That's Christopher Titus joke. Love is evil. Evil. Yeah, that's funny. So, yeah, definitely trying to get rid of people today. Are we alone now? Can we talk? Is it safe? So the 3 things I got written there. Walter J. Veith. I'm sure some of my subscribers are quite familiar with him. J. Veith. William Miller. I wonder how many people who are familiar with Walter J. Veith are familiar with William Miller. Kind of a mouthful there. And the reason why, I wonder, is because of the 3rd thing that's written. It's a couple of dates. One is March 21st, 1843. The other is March 21st, 1844. Oh, and yes, this is by far one of the most revealing videos there's going to be about the so-called flat earthers. See, the thing about these dates, I'll show you. There's my little chicken scratch. See? March 43 and 44. See, I wasn't there at the time. I was locked in a tree. And I was just starting to regain my consciousness and actually record memory. Right about that time. But see, what Mr. William Miller did at this time, or, a little bit before that, was he said that Jesus would come back in the world March 21st, 1843. And it didn't happen. And then he said, this is Mr. William Miller, I am Miller. Then he said, no, some of my students were right. I was a little off. We should have been, I should have been more open-minded to their suggestions. So, yes. It's going to be March 21st, 1844. Oh.
Isn't that special? Well, I don't know. Who could have told him something like that? I don't know. Who could have been? Who could have been? Could it be Satan? Yeah, that's a Dana Carvey impersonation of it. Well, no, not really an impersonation of an impersonation, because that's just his character, or one of his characters. Huh. Now, the reason why we're talking about this isn't just so I can point out how funny I find it that, you know, this is when I started to record consciousness while, being trapped in that tree for 4 centuries or so. And what's really fascinating is that what I remember being the overwhelming, factor that triggered my clutching, how you kind of need a motivation to make you act? Well, the motivation was how wrong things had started to go. And I'd said previously, I thought it was about the mid 1800s on through till about 1865 that I can remember quite clearly the emotional impressions of Mother Nature screaming out in pain as the world was, stripped of about 80% of its forestation. I felt that. I've known that feeling and that memory since I was born into this life. If you can figure out a fucking better explanation for who I am, I'm open to suggestions. But excuse me, if with what I'm presented with as the level of intelligence these days, my expectations on such matters remain quite low. Which brings me back to the connection between these three things. The connection to the guy at the top, Walter J. Vythe. He is a follower of Mr. Miller, indirectly. You see, what happened was, after he was wrong so many times, his little thing, which is called Seventh day Adventism, kind of had a little series of, rebrandings. And Mr. Walter J. Vythe is a Seventh day Adventist. And I find it funny how this is. Well, let's see, where should I start? This is easy to find out, but it's not exactly something that the flat earthers advertise when they constantly feed you this man's rhetoric. And if you simply look at him up as Walter, Walter J. Vythe, Veith. And you can actually find many, many different conspiracies not having to do with flat earth that recite the same rhetoric. And while his videos are directly used in flat earth quite often, you never see the video in which he professes to be a Seventh-day Adventist on flat earth channels, just like you never see Walter J. Vythe directly talking about flat earth. Because he is a propaganda source. Now, I could be wrong. There could be Walter J. Vythe videos while he's talking about flat earth. Yeah. I haven't seen that much of him. I've seen enough to absorb the general style of his rhetoric, the general content of what information he pushes. And I've seen enough of him to observe that if you don't know when someone is using the appearance of sourced information to overstate their credibility, let me just inform you. The man is citing sources of publications that were made by the company he works for. Okay? And citing them as resources during his presentations. It's okay. The Seventh day Adventist is a lot like the Jehovah's Witness organization. It's a lot like the Church of Scientology, quite frankly. They're very dogmatic, easy to offend, will track down people who are trying to go astray and shit like that. And what's interesting is that there are some, let's say, hard to access reports that Seventh day Adventism is the number 2 religion in Russia. And in fact, the Vissarion cult considers itself Seventh day Adventists. So you have the Empire of Nod, if I'm correct. And coincidentally, the, pick a puppet Antichrist making fucking, Branch Davidian people who don't seem to know what the word Shabbat means. People who don't seem to know a lot about what's in the Bible and like to nitpick and skim through it and point fingers at other people. Okay? That's what the Seventh day Adventists are. It's exactly what they are. I suggest reading it front to back. You might fucking learn something. But if you actually do a rhetorical analysis the way an intelligence professional would, if you actually just think about this logically, what you see is that the propaganda being spread among flat earthers, the stuff that we're being forced to swallow with this whole bait and switch program, comes from Seventh day Adventism, which coincidentally enough happens to be the root of the Vissarion cult. There's 3 major, the top 3 in Russia. There's the Orthodox Church. There's the Adventist Church. That might have been a hand movement. I'm not sure. Just a shadow on my face. It's kind of both. Weird. All right. So there's the Orthodox Church. There's the Adventist Church. Then there's la 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 la. Yeah. But see, the Adventists, what I don't know, okay, what I don't have data on, should I say, is how many of the Adventists actually participate in the Vissarion cult. How widespread is it? The fact of the matter is, they have thousands of acres of land. They are a government-sanctioned cult. But according to the definition of cult, they're not a cult within their own country. It's a government-sanctioned messiah figure who, conveniently enough, recites decades-old Soviet propaganda as if it were scripture, as if it were the divine truth he was sent here to reveal. Oh. And if you'll buy that bullshit, I got some oceanfront property in Oklahoma you might want to take a look at. So, I've been trying to inform Mr. Powerland of these findings recently. He's a bit hard to budge. But let's just say I've been praying for him. And, well, as we know, the only prayer I don't get to have answered is, please, God, let me stop being the crazy Jesus guy on YouTube. No, I mean, YouTube is the smallest part of my problem. Fucking tornadoes coming. Everybody looks at me, you know? Just give me my wand. Yeah, like, what seems weird for you has become quite normal for people around here. But then again, you know, slaughter. Oh, the weird ways in which things have become literal truths. When all of you people were just looking for metaphors, trying to make shit up to suit your own agendas, things have happened quite literally that you could never have seen coming. They won't happen for you. So I can tell based on the spot that she's quit chewing on that Bubbles nearly has the better shaded nesting area prepared. So they're probably going to spawn maybe today. They looked like they were about to do it yesterday. I'm guessing maybe today. Trying not to get my hopes up. Um, but I am really happy about how Bob and Mai have been looking. I don't know if I posted the video of it yet, but I did a Paragard bath with them. And actually, I did it once when I transferred them into the tank, and then I went and gave them another when they weren't eating and breathing heavy a couple days later. And now they are both just looking in brilliant condition, eating well, and best of all, they're getting along really, really well. It is adorable to see Mai, because she looks like an Accelerus with just this extra black, tall, fin action going. And it's just her, her coloration is beautiful. And then Bob's just this tiny little cute maroon clownfish, which are usually the big, giant, vicious clownfish. It's just adorable seeing them just pallet up together. And Bob's still prepubescent, even though I think Mai is well on her way to becoming a female. Okay. So Mai will try to provoke the submissive male mating response, and Bob's not developed enough to actually do the little clownfish twitch dance thing, right? So he'll just sit there and like shimmy really fast. It's so freaking cute. Like he's like, I'm trying, I can't do it. It's so adorable. Oh. Yeah, the female percula right now. That way. Yeah, one tank that way, one tank that way. Oh, the female percula right now is like doing that little clownfish twitch dance against the spot, right? And then I think she does it to kind of feel for the rough spots. Because she'll do that, and then she'll go and bite at it. And then she'll do that again, and then she'll go and bite at it some more. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I can't not talk about damn clownfish in a video these days. My goodness. What's the world coming to? No, seriously, what's the world coming to? That was a joke. Not a very good one, I know, but still. Um, how my wife is texting me, so I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this short. Seventh Day Adventism. If anybody's feeling clever, see how many people in the comments you can list that just might happen to be Seventh Day Adventists. How many people seem to have this same rhetorical agenda? It seems easy and obvious to me. I'm a Capricorn. That takes effort. Just kidding. Well, not about the Capricorn thing, obviously. But oh yes, in every lifetime. No, I think I was a Leo once. I was also a woman at the time, so. These are the jokes. These are not jokes. Funny though. Funny. Definitely funny. Funny haha. So yes. Mr. William Miller is the original founder of Seventh-day Adventism, which basically gains more credibility than it's worth with its critique of the Roman calendar. Okay? And this is largely based on a lot of research that's been proven false and was actually spread by false Jews to destroy Christianity. So I find that fascinating. And let's see. Basically, a Sabbath is not a true Hebrew word. Okay? See, they focus on the fact that the Europeans allegedly are the ones who changed it from what the Jews said, because during this time period is when all these smart, quote, Jews, not really Jews, came and taught all the Christians all the things that they'd been missing to inspire Zionism. Oh, if anybody's actually making sense of this, please brag on yourself in the comments. I want to know if you got this before I had to fucking spell it out. Because there's a few people who can guess what it is, but I saw something. I'll give a clue. A video that just made me lose a little bit of faith in humanity in general. Just one of those. Has it really come down to this type things? You know. You know. Sorry, I move my eyebrows so much. I'm just trying to see them. I'm trying to see my eyes. Like, oh, I have a face. Hey, look, there it is. Okay. Because, they're so fucking bushy and my forehead's just gigantic and it blocks out the. Oh, I am ready to pass through a sandstorm. Everybody got your Chris knife? Fat Baron is coming back from planet Harkonnen. Yeah. I don't know. No, wait. He's been back for quite some time. So everybody needs to figure out their power words so we can operate our little things. Zoom. That's obviously a very silly joke, but there's still a little bit of a metaphor hidden in there. I do that more than you think. So yeah, I guess leaving it at that little connection to Zionism. And the fact is that it's basically the word actually means people of the snake or something like that. So basically, you're forsaking your traditions. You're forsaking your parents and your grandparents because of something you read on the fucking internet. This man forsook his parents and his grandparents for a fucking tabloid that was spread through the country by false prophets, by wolves in sheep's clothing, by those who say they are Jews and are not. So yes, I will brag, if that's what bragging is, that I happen to have the truth that you're looking for, whether you know it or not, whether you can admit it to yourself or not. See, what some people see as condescending when I say grow up, the people who, are adults find it quite hilarious. But I think we know that there's not a whole lot of adults around here in fake TV land. And on that bombshell, I'm going to go take a piss. That's why they call me Poseidon after all. Wah, wah, wah. Good night, everybody. Okay. Yeah. I'm bored of this. I'm sure you probably are too, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. And thanks for watching. Have a great period of time that you can insert for yourself. Maybe. I guess. You can stop looking at my stupid head after you like and subscribe. Or